Hey, Daily Dosers, this is Pastor Larry here, and continuing some thoughts on this idea of don't worry, be happy, and what the Bible actually says. You know, one of the passages that gets misused a ton is found in Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5. You maybe are in your life group or in a situation, you tell somebody you're worried about something, and they'll look at you and go, oh, don't worry, you should never worry. But when Jesus says, don't worry, there's a little more nuance to that. Let me kind of point it out to you. Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body or what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? And he goes on and he talks about the birds of the air and how God cares for them, about the plants and how God cares for them. And he says, we are so much more valuable. But then he goes on and he says this. He says, so do not worry saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? And in verse 32, for the pagans, those who don't know God, run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But here's the solution. Not again mental gymnastics to say, oh, I'm not going to worry when a train is roaring down the train tracks at you. He says, here's the solution. Seek first God's kingdom and God's righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. In other words, as you and I focus on seeking first the kingdom and God's righteousness every single day, what happens is we will have the answer to today. What in recovery circles they call taking it one day at a time. And he says, as we do that, when tomorrow comes, guess what we're going to get? We're going to get the grace to deal with the problem that we're so worried about today, but don't have the grace yet to deal with. You see, you and I are never supposed to be so dialed on tomorrow and tomorrow's problems that we're not living in obedience and glorifying God today. And as we do that day in and day out, here's the promise of God, that when tomorrow comes, tomorrow's grace and tomorrow's provision will be there. But when you and I look at tomorrow today, guess what we look at? We look at tomorrow's problem without tomorrow's grace and provision because it's not been given yet. And that's why it's folly to worry about tomorrow when we've got today in front of us. No, that doesn't mean don't plan. That doesn't mean don't look at situations. That doesn't mean don't prepare. That doesn't even mean don't be concerned. Jesus was concerned in his own prayer life. But it means simply this: don't be like those who put tomorrow's problems as the most important thing in life. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you and will be taken care of as well.